Hey, how you doing? I'm Sandal. Let's talk about alopecia areata and how your practices lead to it, like CCCA and different other things. But we're talking about alopecia areata right now. What you're looking at is somebody within the 7-day hair growth challenge, and by her changing her practices, like we're going to talk about today, her CCCA started to go away. This is a little girl whose mother was doing a couple of different things that I'm going to talk about today. When she stopped doing those things, her daughter's hair grew back with no problem. It's hard for a lot of people to accept, but most of the time our practices are the reason that we're going bald, and when we change those practices, those things stop. So this conversation was triggered by a message that I received from one of my subscribers here on YouTube. I don't know if she subscribed to my channel, but this is a message that she sent. She says that she found out that she had alopecia areata, and the things that the dermatologists are giving her are not freaking working. Like, oh my god, like, and there's no help whatsoever. What does she do? Please help her. And this is something that I get on a daily basis. Like, if I could get $1 for every day that I received a question like this, then I would no longer need to do hair, or I don't do hair no more, but I would need to do nothing but just lay in the bed all day. That's all I would do, you know?
I am back. What it do, baby?
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
So at this point, you guys pretty much know that I don't have a choice but to use this. I simply don't have time for your copyright claims. So as you can see, this is how it looks when people are putting oils and butters and greases in the scalp. And then moreover, there are YouTube videos or people teaching you how to make herbal oil blends on the stove. You're literally killing the follicle. You're killing it. And in this video, I'm going to break down how, because I know quite a few of you get really upset when I say things like this, because this looks so rewarding, like you're back in touch with nature. But no, you're not. You are the cause of your alopecia areata. You are the cause of your CCCA. You are the cause of your dandruff, your folliculitis, your alopecia areata, your seborrheic dermatitis, the dandruff, all of the things. You are causing it with these oils and butters. You are not helping. And right now, I'm going to break it down. So get your pen and papers out, because this one is going to be heavy, but packed full of facts. So let's get into it. At this point, I've already explained the majority of this conversation to you, but let's hop into it in a little bit more detail. Let me first start by saying that I'm not putting this information out here to embarrass anybody. As you can see, all of these clips have been edited so that you can't see who sent this message. But it's really, really important that we unpack this together so that we can all see ourselves in this experience. Okay, so this question was sent early in the morning, and I'm gonna be real transparent. It was like 9 something, so it wasn't that early in the morning. It was almost 10. But girl, I was in the bathroom. Can we be honest? I was in the bathroom when I saw this, right? But I just went ahead and decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and answer this, because I'm going to be honest. I no longer do one-on-one consultations. I no longer provide like free information on that level. But on this day, I decided to answer. So I do want to say this. If you guys send me DMs and kind of want to get like a free little mini consult, which is technically what this was, then please know that we're going to use it as an example, but your identity will be kept private. But this is something that everybody can get information from. So you said, I pray you read and answer the message. I recently discovered I have alopecia areata. It's been extremely devastating, and the doctors and dermatologists aren't any help whatsoever. Can you please help me? So you can pretty much read that for yourself. But my next question to her was, okay, what are your practices? I'm not being rude and disrespectful, y'all. But when I say that in 1 month, I get at least 300 different messages like this, I am not exaggerating. Like, I am not exaggerating. And this is whether you team natural, whether you have locks, all of the things. This is a message that I'm getting on a regular basis. All right. So basically, what I said to her was that, okay, I need you to tell me all of your patterns. What were your patterns, and how do you wear your hair from shampoo day to shampoo day? And what do you put on the scalp? Don't leave anything out. And I can't help if you don't tell me everything, is basically what I told her. She said, I have dreads. I get them interlocked every 3 to 4 months. I would oil my hair once a week, sometimes longer because I would forget. The shampoo and conditioning I was using is called AG Balance. I don't know what that is. I wash my hair not often at all. Okay. Maybe once every 3 to 4 months. Mainly when I got my dreads done. I would sew styles sometimes. For work, I would put my hair in a tight bun, which I've stopped since I've been looking for a good shampoo and conditioner, but it's hard to find. Now I oil my scalp with castor oil and a few drops of rosemary oil. I also use a hydrating mist spray. The balding is on both sides of my edges since I've been using the certain oil. It's been helping, y'all. Now I oil my scalp with castor oil. Oh, I read that part already. Both sides of my edges. Since October, I've been using this Banta oil that y'all keep obsessing about, and it's helping. And so I asked her, did her doctor know that? She said yes. And all he said was, I have alopecia areata, and that's called, and blah, blah. All he said was, I have alopecia areata that caused by stress, and there's nothing I can do to help you. And then I told her that she's causing her own alopecia. What did they tell her about oil and essential oils on the scalp? Nothing. He said, use this cream. He subscribed, but the cream made it worse. So I stopped using it. Okay. Real quick before we keep going, because I need y'all all to see yourselves in this woman, because everybody is doing the same thing. This is not to single her out. Everybody's doing the same exact thing. So when I asked her what she's been doing, she said she puts oil in her hair once a week, right? And she only shampoos her hair once every 3 to 4 months. So you understanding that, like, the all of the yeast and the bacteria that accumulates on the scalp just in a week, but you haven't shampooed in 3 to 4 months, that's enough to cause your alopecia by itself. Forget the oil. That's enough to cause the alopecia by itself, because all of the yeast and bacteria that are there, they're just there and they're not being removed or controlled for 3 to 4 months. And then on top of that, like I've taught you guys in previous videos, I'll leave the links in the description box below. When you add oils and butters and greases to the scalp, it is the bacteria and the yeast favorite food. It's like a freaking buffet. So you haven't shampooed the hair in 3 to 4 months, and you add food for the bacteria that you are not removing. You add food for it on a weekly basis. It's destroying the follicle. This is a very, very, very easy way to see what the cause is. But let's keep going. I told her that it would have worked if she wouldn't have stopped. So she said she started using again, but when she was using the oil, she seen hair growth, right? And then you can pretty much read the rest for yourself. I went ahead and kept sending her videos, like, because she was like, hey, I watch all your videos. And there's no way. I love y'all so much, but this is why I'm not going live anymore, because I'm literally saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I love y'all so much, but how can you say that you watch all of my videos, but then tell me that you don't understand why your hair is falling out, and you add oil to your scalp once a week, and you only shampoo your hair every 3 to 4 months? There's no way you're watching my videos. There's no way. And I'm not being rude or anything like that, but this was our conversation. I just gave her as much consult as I could, told her to basically listen to the dermatologist, listen to what the dermatologist has to say, watch some of my videos, and if that still doesn't do it for you, then join my 7-day challenge, of course, because I can only give so much free consult, in the DM. And that's pretty much how our conversation went, right? And then she had a couple more questions that I'm just not, I just, hey, and for everybody else, because I get these types of questions all the time, right? If you want to know anything about what products I recommend, check the playlist that's listed below. But this isn't the woman who sent the message. This is a whole nother person with locks. She says, I have locks and stopped oiling my scalp years ago. I only miss my hair with aloe juice and rose water. And this is the thing. Like, I love y'all so much, but y'all have to lose this over quenching desire to always add something to the hair, because that is what's causing your alopecia. So let's hop right into this. This is going to be a longer one. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with you so you can hop into this blog post with me. We're going to read all the way through it. If you don't want to stick around, then I understand. Get you some snacks though. Like, you should kick it with me. So if you want to follow along with this post, then make sure you check the link in the description box below. But I already have 2 other posts on alopecia areata. Already have 2 full videos about it, so they will be linked within this blog post as well. But alopecia areata is an autoimmune condition where the immune system mistakenly attacks the hair follicles, leading to sudden hair loss in small round patches. It can affect the scalp, face, eyebrows, beard, and sometimes the entire body. So what are some of the key facts? One of the cause is an autoimmune response, genetics, and possibly environmental triggers. We're going to unpack this. What are the different types? Here are the different types of alopecia areata, all right, or the different types of alopecia, just 3, but right now we're just tackling alopecia areata. For the basics of it, make sure you go watch these 2 videos so that way you won't be confused, because we're hopping right into the hair follicle and how your practices of constantly oiling and buttering and greasing and spraying random products in the hair, spraying random herbs and things of that in the hair, how these things are leading to your alopecia. All right, so the hair follicle. The hair follicle is a unique structure, and it usually remains hidden from the immune system. This is a concept known as immune privilege. In simple terms, means that under normal conditions, the body's defense systems completely ignores the follicle to avoid unnecessary inflammation. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing everything right, there's no reason for the immune system to even be thinking about the hair follicle. You know why? Nothing goes on the scalp but shampoo. So if nothing's on the scalp but shampoo, the immune system doesn't have a reason to even be alarmed with the scalp, because the user, you, the human who has the scalp, is supposed to be in co-creation with the body, keeping the scalp clean. So if the scalp is clean and there's nothing on the scalp, there's no reason for the immune system to even be thinking about the hair follicle. Again, research it yourself. I am not making this up. Look up hair follicle immune privilege. The immune system does not pay attention to the hair follicle unless you have certain practices. So when this protection breaks, several factors can contribute. to it breaking. Number one is genetics, right? Some people are more likely to lose this immune privilege due to inherent traits. Now, whenever somebody talks about alopecia, people are like, oh, genetics. And the majority of people who talk about genetic forms of alopecia are people in their 20s. If you're in your 20s, you're not really getting having certain genetic forms of alopecia. And the thing is, most people get confused, right? As a scientist, when a scientist says something is genetic, it doesn't mean that, oh, you're automatically going to have it. It means that in this genetic pool, in this gene pool, the women, let's say the Edwards women, right? That's my maiden name. That's why I popped up first. The Edwards women all grease and oil they scalp. They all have an unhealthy diet, right? So this all leads to the immune response attacking the hair follicle. They all have routines and patterns that cause their immune systems to be weaker. So when you do the things that I'm about to name next, it makes it so the immune system is going to break down fast, right? So let's keep going. Number two is going to be stress and infection. Hear me. Stress and infection, physical or emotional stress, as well as infection. For example, from bacteria overgrowth due to clogged follicles. Hear me. This can trigger inflammation signals that disrupt the immune balance. Next up is going to be environmental triggers. So factors like harsh hair treatments or tight styles may damage the follicle's protective barrier. So understand that sebum that comes out of the scalp naturally, one of its purposes is to protect the scalp and the hair shaft. Oil's job is not to protect the scalp or the hair shaft. It's not. But the sebum is. Sebum isn't an oil, it's a wax, and that's its job. But if your scalp is covered in oil, it can never do its job. Okay? Once the immune privilege is lost, the immune system might mistakenly see the hair follicle as foreign. Let me say that again. Once the immune privilege is lost, the immune system might mistakenly see the hair follicle as foreign. This misidentification leads the immune cells to attack them, causing the inflammation and patchy hair loss seen in the condition like alopecia areata. All right, let's get into it. And next up, if or after this video is done, make sure you head over to this blog post and watch the video that I have on locks, because I talk about this and the habits that most people with locks take. And most women with locks are constantly oiling, greasing, and buttering the scalp. Y'all think that mixing herbs in your oils is helping, but you're actually making it worse. You're not helping, you're hurting. All right. Next up, tight hairstyles can put constant tension on the scalp, which may trigger localized stress and inflammation. When the follicles are stressed and clogged, often due to product buildup or excess oil, it creates an environment where bacteria and fungi can overgrow. So just imagine you're adding oil to your scalp and not shampooing your hair every 3 to 4 months. Oh my God. This microbiome imbalance can lead to scalp infection, further irritating the area. The combined effects of mechanical stress from tight styles, clogged follicles, and microbial overgrowth can provoke an immune response that might contribute to the cycle of inflammation, and in this case lead the immune system to mistakenly target the hair follicle. So in short, by you not shampooing the hair enough, by you constantly adding oils and butters and greases and having tight styles, tight scarves, your braids, your twists, all those things is triggering inflammation and making it so that the hair follicle is no longer having immune privilege. You did that by you constantly oiling and greasing and buttering the scalp, by you having all of these tight styles and things of that nature, by you not shampooing the hair. I'm not being disrespectful, and this is why I didn't add her name or picture, because that's not important. It's not about her, because the majority of Black women think like this. Not only is it like extremely unhygienic for you to go 3 to 4 months without shampooing your hair, it directly leads to balding. When you talk to women who have alopecia areata, the majority, not all, but the majority of women who have alopecia areata either grease the scalp, wear braids and tight styles all the time, or they don't shampoo their hair enough. It's a fact. Okay. Applying excessive oil to the scalp, especially in cases of alopecia areata, can contribute to worsening of the condition rather than helping it. And here's how. Number one, a clogged hair follicle and bacteria growth. When you apply too much oil, it mixes with dead skin cells, dirt, leading to a clogged hair follicle. It's not helping. Regardless of what you want to think, regardless of how aesthetically pleasing it is to watch oil fill the scalp, you are hurting the scalp. You are not helping. A clogged follicle creates a perfect environment for bacteria and fungi to thrive, leading to scalp inflammation, infections, or conditions like folliculitis. And I talk about all of these things on my channel. Make sure you check the link in the description box below so you can get to that playlist. All right. An overgrowth of bacteria, particularly this one here, right, formerly known as another name that we're not about to say right now, y'all can read it, can trigger this immune response. Now, the overgrowth, overactive immune response. Alopecia areata is an autoimmune disorder where the immune system mistakenly attacks the hair follicle. A scalp overloaded with oil, dead skin, and bacteria can cause the immune system to go into overdrive, making the follicle as a threat. So, by all that you're doing, by oiling and greasing the scalp, is making the follicle a threat to the body. The immune system doesn't even see or notice the hair follicle until you fill it with oil. So for everybody who's, oh, I have to put oil in my scalp, you are wrong. You do not know what you're talking about. You're wrong. All you're doing by oiling the scalp is putting like a green light, like, hey, come infect me, come kill me, to the hair follicle. That's it. Because before you put oil and grease, before you fill the follicle up, your immune system doesn't even know that your hair follicle is there. And this is a fact. The heightened immune activity can worsen inflammation, accelerating hair loss instead of promoting regrowth. Number 3, it increases DHT and sebum production. In some individuals, excess oiling can increase DHT. DHT is a hormone linked to hair loss by furthering the stimulation of the sebaceous gland. Do you understand that when you add oil and grease to the scalp, your body's is like, oh my God, you trigger an immune response in the hair follicle. The hair follicle thinks that the body's being attacked when you add oil. So it'll send out different hormones. It'll trigger certain hormones like, hey, produce more sebum. There's something on the scalp we have to flush out. But guess what? The oils that you put on the scalp are blocking that wax from coming out. I don't care if the oil is a 0 on the comedogenic scale. It's still blocking the wax from being able to come up because it's covered. You put half the bottle on there. So it's completely covered and nothing is able to come up. Let's keep going. Blah blah blah. More sebum, scalp oil can cause an imbalance of the microbiome, leading to irritation, dandruff, or seborrheic dermatitis, which can trigger an immune-related scalp issue. Listen, most of y'all have dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis because you're oiling the scalp, and by you putting oils and greases and butters on the scalp, you trigger an immune response. Your body thinks that it's being attacked. So it starts to produce more sebum, and then your skin cell turnover cycle is off balance. Everything in your body is off balance because you can't stop putting oil on your scalp. But I digress. Let's keep going. Number 4, lack of oxygen and nutrients blockage. A thick layer of oil suffocates the scalp by preventing proper oxygen and blood circulation. I'm sorry, it's a fact that if the body is covered in oil, oxygen flow is cut off. We don't even have to unpack that. Hair follicles are hair follicles need an optimum balance of oxygen and nutrient functions to function properly. Excessive oil buildup can prevent this, weakening the follicles and increasing shedding. So then next up, I tell you exactly how to avoid that problem. So if you want to know that, make sure you head over to the blog. But we are going to keep going. All right. Without excess oil, there is a less chance for you to have a clogged follicle, and then there's no opportunity for the bacteria to build up. If you are shampooing your hair on a regular basis, I love y'all so much, but if you want to maintain the hair follicle's immune privilege, then it's mandatory for you to shampoo your hair on a regular basis. It is mandatory for you to stop adding oils and butters and greases and gels and putties and all of the things to your hair. The reason that the men and women from the 7 Day Challenge and the Growth Cycle Blueprint are getting the results that they're getting is because they're working with the natural rhythms of their body. They're not adding all these herbs and butters and oils and greases and boiling them on the stove. I know that it seems amazing. I know that it feels like you in touch with your ancestors, but you're not, because your ancestors really were extremely intelligent and they sat down and they respected herbs. Our ancestors understood that certain herbs don't even go, they shouldn't even touch the body. Certain herbs should only be inhaled. Certain herbs shouldn't touch the skin. Certain herbs shouldn't be ingested. Just because something grows from the earth doesn't mean you boil it on the stove and put it in your hair. Just like one of the other women was like, oh, I just sprayed aloe vera juice. Y'all, you want to know one of the main reasons why most women with locks or most men with locks are going bald is because y'all think that the way that you're supposed to treat your locks is to shampoo them once every 5 to 6 years and then put oil and grease and butter and saturate it in it, when it's the fastest way to alopecia areata. And before we end, well, we're not about to end, I'm just going to give you a couple of options, things that can help you. But when you guys go to dermatologists, one of the first things that people say to me is like, oh, Sin, I wanted to go to a dermatologist, or I went to a dermatologist, but they were no help and they didn't help me and they told me it would never grow back. You know why? Because they know you're not going to listen. I love y'all, but do y'all understand how many women dermatologists talk to? Do y'all understand how many black women walk in a dermatologist's office telling them that they black and they gotta add oil and they gotta add grease to the scalp because they black and their scalp needs oil and their scalp needs to be moisturized and all of that? Do y'all know how many times they hear this? I'm irritated, and I didn't spend over a decade in medical school. They did. So to spend over a decade in medical school, having to go back and forth with women who are going bald, and the only thing that they have to do is stop putting stuff on their scalp, oh my God, it would irritate the hell out of you. So he said, here you go. Add this cream to the scalp. Other than that, I don't know how to help you, because he knew you were not going to listen. I'm not being rude or disrespectful, but whenever we had that conversation and I asked her if whether or not she if when I asked her if whether or not she was listening to, no, when I asked her, did you use it, were you still using the oils on your scalp when you were using the cream that the doctor gave you, her answer was yes. So let's get into this real quick. This is just a little bit of common sense. So you go to a dermatologist. The dermatologist's only job is to look at your scalp, test it, tell you what they see, and then give you a treatment for it. That's their only job. They're not supposed to do your hair. They're not supposed to unpack your regimen over the last 20 years. That's on you. All they're supposed to do is assess your scalp, diagnose you, give you a diagnosis, and treat you. That's it. And it's up to you of whether or not you listen or you don't. And most of y'all don't, because y'all think y'all know better than dermatologists, cosmetologists, and trichologists. So the dermatologist gave her a cream. She's like, oh, well, I stopped using the cream because it made it worse. And so the question that I asked her, I said, well, were you doing the oils and the essential oils and using the cream? Her answer was yes. Get into this. Oh my God. So you have an overgrowth of yeast and bacteria because you put oils and butters, where you put oil in your scalp on a weekly basis, right? And essential oils, which means that the good bacteria that is there to fight some of the bad bacteria that you're letting overpopulate, you kill it with the essential oil. Oh my God. So your scalp literally has no defender. Because you, like I said, you overpopulate the bacteria, so it's fighting. But then you add essential oil, which is killing all bacteria, good and bad. The majority of the good bacteria, because you're overran with bad bacteria. So the little bit of good bacteria you had, you killed with essential oil. Yeah. Right. So now you are adding oil and feeding the bacteria at the same time that you're adding a cream that the doctor is giving you to kill the bacteria. So you killing and feeding the bacteria at the same time, and it feels worse. Hell yeah, it feels worse, because now there's a war going on your scalp. Y'all, like, I want us to get to the point where we can do this conductive reasoning on our own. I'm not calling anybody stupid, but what I am saying is that y'all are so blinded by, I'm black, I need oil, I need grease, that part of our brain where common sense is literally off. It's completely non-existent. So I'm gonna say it again. Hair follicles are usually immune privilege sites, meaning the immune system typically leaves them alone. When that privilege is lost due to the factors like genetic predispositions, stress, infections, or environmental triggers, the immune system may mistakenly identify these follicles as foreign. This misidentification can cause immune cells to attack the hair follicles, leading to conditions like alopecia areata. So, in the comments below, I need you to let me know if whether or not you still think that it's up for debate or argument if whether or not black women should be oiling and greasing the scalp. You let me know. Regarding herbs, okay, many are known for their immune response triggering properties. And this is something that you need to know, because this is the thing that you need to balance it out. Many herbs balance these properties out. And so it makes it so it's easy to simply and slowly strengthen your immune response if you've weakened it by your practices. Because not only do you need to stop all of the stuff that you've been doing, you need to fix the things that you've broken. Right? Because if you have greased and oiled and buttered your scalp, you have caused your alopecia areata. If you don't shampoo your hair enough, you've caused your alopecia areata. If your diet is off and your body contains way more bad bacteria than good, you have caused your alopecia areata. You have. And the reason that doctors are like, there's no way that I can help you, is because they know you are not going to listen. That doctor gave you everything that you needed, and so did I. I told you to stop oiling and greasing the scalp. You like, I watch all your videos, but you still oil and grease your scalp on a regular basis. That's literally all I talk about on my channel. You only shampoo your hair every 3 to 4 months, but I'm literally telling y'all that y'all need to shampoo at least once a week or once every 2 weeks. So you do all of the things that I tell you not to do, but you can't figure out why you have alopecia areata. Then you go to see a dermatologist. Your dermatologist tells you to do something, but you don't like the way it feels. So you keep doing the shit that you was doing to get you in the place that you was at, and you stop doing what the doctor said. It's like y'all, y'all, y'all. So the first one is going to be turmeric. Turmeric, its active ingredients has potent anti-inflammatory effects that can help to calm overactive immune response. Next up is going to be ashwagandha. That's in this peace potion. I love it. It's often used as an adaptogen. It may help balance stress hormones and modulate that immune activity in the first place. Ginger is known for its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, which can support an overall immune health, right? And I have quite a few blends with ginger in them, so make sure you check those out on the blog. And next up is going to be medicinal mushrooms. This one that I have is shaga mushroom, but listen, when I say it's freaking amazing, add a link to the video that I have for shaga mushrooms up under this by the time you guys get to watch it. And then this very next blend is with mullein and echinacea. But echinacea is the one that we're talking about. And I'm going to do a full video on echinacea coming really soon. But this is really popular for boosting immune functions. It's used in autoimmune conditions, is a little controversial and should be approached with caution. So it's something that you want to take in, I don't want to say in small dosages, but you should just be really alerted by how you're taking it, depending on what medications you're on. So before you start taking echinacea, you want to make sure that you check with your doctor, right? But that is the way that I really want you guys to unpack these things, right? Go ahead and watch the videos that are all linked here within this blog post. But I really hope that all of this makes sense. When I make videos like this, I'm not making these videos because I'm trying to call anybody dumb or I'm calling anybody stupid. No, that's not why I'm making these videos. I make these videos because I understand that a lot of the decisions and a lot of the choices that women are making, you guys are making because you think that you're doing the best thing for your hair, but you're not. You're doing the worst. Every pattern or everything that black women think is like, oh, something so cultural, is the reason that black women's hair grows slower than everybody else's. Your body doesn't even know this. Your body's immune system doesn't even know that it has a hair follicle until you add oil. Your body's immune system does not know that you have a hair follicle until you don't shampoo your hair. It doesn't know that the follicle is there until you let the follicle get dirty. Do you understand that? So do you understand that alopecia areata won't exist because there's nothing for the immune system can attack a follicle that it doesn't know exists? Do you understand what I'm saying? How could the follicle attack? How could the immune system attack a follicle if it doesn't know that the follicle is there? Because in a healthy human being who's not doing all of these things, your immune system doesn't know that you have a hair follicle. But the second you put oil on the scalp, the immune system is alerted that there's something foreign in the body. So if you have balding, if you have alopecia areata, and you are a woman who greases and oils and butters the scalp, if you don't shampoo enough, if you always have wigs and hair pieces and foreign bodies on the scalp, you are the cause of your alopecia areata. If your diet is whack, if the majority of the things that you're eating are fast food, or if you macaroni and fried chicken and it up, you're the reason for your alopecia areata. That's just what it is. That's why when you go see a dermatologist, they're like, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do because they know y'all don't listen. And you can't get offended because I just showed you you don't listen. You haven't listened to me, and I'm not talking about her. But most of y'all fit into this same exact category. That's why people get mad at me when I talk, because it's like, "Ugh, why she being mean to us?" Because y'all all need accountability. Y'all all a bunch of grown ass women, and we cannot keep going around this same mountain over and over again. So, what do you want more? What do you want more? Do you want to do what the YouTube girls are doing, or do you want your alopecia areata to go away? Do you want to do what the YouTube girls are doing? Do you want to add oils and butters to your scalp, or do you want your bald spots to fill in? These are the questions that you have to ask yourself, and I really, really hope that this conversation was one that can be taken. You can either listen to what I got to say or you cannot, right? I'm going to leave the full blog post in the description box below because I do have a couple of suggestions for you there. So make sure you head over there to check out what I have for you to modulate your immune response. All of the herbs that I've listed here will do exactly that for you. But listen, you can't take herbs and then keep oiling and greasing the scalp. You can't take herbs and then not shampoo your hair for 3 to 4 months. You can't do that. What do you think? How do you think your butt would smell if you don't wash it but for 3 to 4 months? And the only time you wash your butt is when you about to go see your dude. Well, guess what? That's what's happening to your scalp. Why do you deduct the filth that accumulates in the crack of your ass from the filth that accumulates on your scalp when you don't shampoo it? Like, y'all, it's the same body. It's the same filth. It's everything is all the same. So again, I love you guys. Make sure that you go ahead and watch the full videos that are left within the blog post because it will help you unpack a couple of these things. And until next time, peace, baby.